occasionally from time to time we process council applications, which is really useful for us because we get all of council's practice notes for their planners. What they've said really, really clearly to us and obviously to their own staff is, we have written a new district plan with a new set of rules. We don't want anyone to breach them at the start. So don't come in and ask for extra height. Don't come in and ask for breaches to the front yard. Yes, I'm sure we always need a resource consent, but not for breaches to those controls, thus to create a precedent. So what we've tried to be slightly conservative with our clients and say to them, don't try and push the barrier. You've already been given a whole lot more. Don't push it any further. You don't need to, and it'll only make your consent difficult. All I will say to all of you is, let's look to design to comply. What we're saying to our clients in a much shorter way is, comply or die. In other words, the council has given us so much more potential. Work within that. Get it through, get it built, get it done. Otherwise, we'll be there for a long time fighting them and may well lose for the next 18 months while they hold the integrity of that district plan. So often there'll be, we call them the purple circles, and anywhere within a certain distance of a purple circle, if we lodge a resource consent, we need to consult with iwi. And I can be really honest with you and say that is quite an onerous process at times. But if you've suddenly got 12 or 13 townhouses on there, I would ask you, and some of you will be first timers at this, but I will say to some of our bigger developers, put a line item in your budget, and it's not about paying people off. Sometimes they'll want to do a cultural impact assessment. Sometimes they'll want to come out and meet you and they want to be paid for that. There's 13 iwi in some cases that we have to deal with. So it's a process we have to go through. You'll be following the Fletcher's subdivision out at Stonefields or the Rocky area out. St. John's. Well, no, even further out towards the airport. Fletchers are looking at doing 300 houses, and the iwi are adamant that there are archaeological sites there. If you don't follow the protocols and the procedures, you're going to be held up. If you go through the process and accept that that's a part of it, 90% of the time you'll be fine. We did a King's Plant barn in Ellerslie Racecourse where the car fair is, so we've resource consented that. There's lava caves under there. We had to get iwi involved, so we've got certain protocols if we break through the lava caves and we find anything. So a lot of it is just about taking care, treating it as archaeology. Treating if we find any ko-iwi or any bones or anything, that we have protocols and procedures in place. So I think it's part of our culture and it's part of New Zealand. So for a lot of people it can seem annoying, but I think with all the extra zoning in the Unitary Plan, you're doing well. Just work your way through the process. We're doing a resource consent in Hillside Road, Mount Eden, right on the edge of Mount Eden, very sensitive view protection and volcanic cones. The subdivision consent's been lodged with a survey, it's been rejected because it wasn't to a high enough standard. So what council have done is said, we want better urban design, we want better quality applications, so they've lifted the game. So what we've found is, don't always just go with the cheapest draftsman you can find. It'll make your job harder at the other end. Go with someone who has had him or her has had the experience of getting these things approved on a regular basis. You just want people who've done this many times before and know how to work their way through the council process. Before council said we don't want you to develop rear sites at all. Now, half the sites in Auckland are rear sites, that's down the long skinny driveways. So what we've done for you, as part of just a one-off special tonight, is the second to last page of the cheat sheet is access to rear sites. Once again, no density limit. Looks like a good site. I'm sure we could look at some overlays and we can find lots of things, no appeals. But the second to last page says access to rear sites. Now, council, we think, will probably fairly strictly adhere to this. Your driveway width will determine how many units you get. Okay? So we've got an example of a site in St Heliers, 4,000 square metres with a very narrow driveway. We've said to them, you could probably fit 10 townhouses on here, but you can't fit 10 down that driveway, you can fit about 6. So what he's going to do is buy a site on an adjoining property which goes out to another street and create a proper wide enough road and get the 10 townhouses on. Not all people are going to be in that position. So that site is limited to the width of the driveway. Let's pretend it's 3.5 metres, we might get 2 to 5. If it was only 3 metres, we'll only get sharing the driveway with number 4. And how wide would it be overall? We own both, 4 and 6. Okay, and how wide would that driveway be? 4 metres. Okay. But it wouldn't be 6.5 metres. Okay, so we can get 2 to 5 total, 2 to 5 units on there. So we can get 5 units on that site.
On each?
No, 5 in total. And that's another thing to note. What council's going to do is it's going to be first in, first best dressed. So if you've got 2 houses exactly like that and you only owned one of them, but if you only owned one and someone else owned the other one, there was 1 house, you could put 3 on there, or 4, and they can have 1. So just note that the right-of-ways are going to cause some consternation, and if you can buy some land off somebody else or you can own the other site, you're in a much better position.